Happy Wednesday. Had to think about what day it was then. It's definitely Wednesday. Hope everyone is alright. I hope you're staying out of the rain. Welcome to Wednesday night yoga in my spare room. Tonight we're going to be working on quite a lot of shoulder stretches and a bit of shoulder strengthening as well. You don't need anything. All you really need is, well, cushions, blankets for your Shavasana if you want to use them. And there is one stretch that we're going to do, which is a little bit harder if you've got props, if you've got 2 yoga bricks or 2 big books, or you can use a big cushion. If you've got quite tight shoulders, like me, you probably won't need one because it's quite an intense stretch already. But if you want to make it a little bit harder, one of the options is to place 2 books underneath your arms just for this shoulder stretch like this. It's not compulsory, you can still do it and you can still get a really good stretch without the bricks as well. I will get started in about a minute or so. I'll just wait until, just so everyone's got a chance to kind of set up, get settled. So it's quite a slow practice. I always say this and then I end up sweating, but it is quite slow. I've got a lot of like work too, so it should be fun. So if you've just put it on, if you're just getting set up, you don't need anything, but if you want to have a cushion nearby or a blanket nearby for your Shavasana, or we are going to come into a lunge, so if you want to put anything underneath your knees, then you can do. And if you want to make one of the stretches harder, it looks like this, then what you can do is grab 2 big books, 2 yoga blocks, rolled up towels, a big cushion, just anything to give your arms a bit of elevation, which is going to get you a stronger stretch in the shoulders. We will get started. In our child's pose is option 1. If child's pose is comfortable for you, then knees out wide, feet together. Bring your chest down towards the floor and take your arms out long. If you find that your head doesn't quite meet the floor, then what you can do is cross your hands and just let your head relax onto your forearms. Option 2, if your child's pose is uncomfortable, one thing you can do if it's hurting the knees is grab a pillow or a cushion and just place it underneath your bum, underneath your thighs to prevent the stretch of the knees. Or what you can do is lay down or sit down cross legs just for this first 3 or 4 minutes whilst we get started. So get your position, find your comfortable child's pose or laying down or seated position, and we will make a start. So whenever you've kind of found that comfortable position, just start to settle, taking any adjustments, any movements with the body that you need for yourself to get comfortable here. And when you've found that comfortable position, take a full inhale in through the nose, hold it at the top, exhale it out through the mouth. We'll do one more just like that, full inhale in through the nose, hold it at the top, and full exhale out through the mouth. So staying exactly as you are, either in your child's position or in your seated or laying down position. Start to close the eyes. So just allowing the gaze to soften or the eyes to close here. Scan. So as we always do, just getting used to our body, how our body's feeling today. Just noticing any sensations in the body, any aches, anywhere that just feels a little bit tight. Can you let go? Can you stop gripping anywhere? Noticing the energy levels, so whether you feel quite relaxed already, whether you feel quite energetic, whether you feel quite tired. There's no right or wrong way to feel, so we're just observing, just checking in. Just know what your body is like today. And then see if you can start to soften a little bit more. So starting to relax the forehead, soften the jaw, letting the head, the neck be heavy wherever it is. Allowing the shoulders to relax, moving the shoulders away from the ears. Just allowing your hands and your feet to feel heavy, to feel grounded wherever you are. you are. Just bringing your attention to your breath. So you might have already started to slow the breath down naturally just by finding stillness, but without necessarily changing it any further. Just see how the breath feels. Just start to notice how your breath is moving around your body, how your breath is feeling today. Noticing where you can feel it the most, whether that's in the nose, the chest, the throat, the belly, and just start to notice how the body is moving around with the breath as well. So noticing whether you can feel those shoulders start to rise and fall. Maybe you can feel the chest rise and fall with those inhales and with those exhales. And whenever you are ready, start to deepen the breath. So for your next inhale, start to draw in a little bit more air. And using those exhales to let it all go. We'll take a few more cycles of breath like that, just really working on deepening those inhales, lengthening those exhales. And just start to notice, where is your inhale coming from in the body? Can you start to fill up the belly with your inhales? Can you draw the air into the belly using that diaphragm? Maybe following the journey as it travels up into the rib cage, up into the chest, maybe into the throat. And with your exhales, just seeing if you can find a little bit of softness, a little bit more grounding. We'll take 3 more cycles of breath just like this. So making these next couple of rounds the deepest, fullest breaths that you've taken. And then on your next exhale, starting to blink the eyes open, we're going to move straight into one of our shoulder stretches. So we're going to move into puppy dog stretch. So if you were laying down or if you were seated, come onto all fours. If you were in your child's pose, it's a very similar position to our child's pose, but we have got the hips stacked over the knees. In our child's position, what we would do is bring our bum backwards, but what we want to do is make sure that the bum has got that stack over the knees. From there, start to walk your hands forward, bringing your chest down towards the mat. You can allow your back to arch here, so you're pushing your bum away, bringing your chest and your chin down to the floor. Options here, if your chest doesn't quite meet the floor, what you can do is place any bricks, books, blocks, cushions, blankets underneath your chest to minimise how far down you have to go. Or you can walk the hands out a little bit wider, so bringing your arms more into a V position. If you are finding this easy, then this is when you want to get your books or your bricks. So just placing your hands so that they fall off the edge of the blocks, wrists are resting on the blocks and bricks, and then we're just going to bring our chest down towards the mat. We are going to be here for about a minute. It is quite an intense stretch, so it might sound quite intimidating, but the more time you spend in this stretch laying down, we've got loads more shoulder stretches throughout the class. So when you have found your comfortable-ish position, you can either just let your forehead relax on the floor, or if it feels easy, you can bring your chin down towards the floor. We've been here for about 30 seconds already, so we'll just take another 30 seconds here. Really see if you can tune into that breath again. So those deep exhales are going to allow you to soften into this stretch to get a little bit more space in the shoulders. Noticing where you can feel this stretch the most for you. So you might find that it's quite a strong stretch in the top of the arms, maybe around the delts and the triceps. You might feel this more in the upper back or into the shoulders. It will be different depending on where you are tighter. We will take another 5 cycles of breath here. So really deep breaths, full inhales, full exhales, allowing those shoulders to move away from the ears. Imagine your top of the arm. We'll take 2 more cycles of breath here. Can you relax into this stretch anymore? One more cycle of breath, just like this. And then we will slowly start to make our way up into a tabletop position. So just shuffle your arms in, place any books or props that you use to the side, coming up onto all fours. Hand through some cat-cows to wake up the spine. Take an inhale, drop your belly down, push your sit bones up, reach your chest forward. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, press the hands into the floor, into the mat, and just let your head relax. Just find your own breath for this movement. So with those inhales, you're finding that arch, and with those exhales, finding that roundness. Really press down through the hands. If you feel like you prefer your cat or you prefer your cow, then you're more than welcome to just hold it in one of them. So if you want to stay in that cat stretch, it's a really good stretch to the top of the back, so you're more than welcome to hold it here. Or if you prefer that cow stretch with the belly down, it's going to stretch the abdominal core, and it's also just going to get a little bit of spinal flexion as well. We'll take a taking one more full round, and then we will all meet in a neutral spine. So this next one, we're going to start to get into the side of the body and the triceps. So stay in your tabletop position. I'll demonstrate it as much as I can, but coming on to, so staying in all fours, start to walk your right arm a little bit further away from you. So you're just getting that right arm out of the way. Your left arm is going to reach up and out in front of your face. Pinky finger of that left hand is facing down towards the floor. From here, reach that left arm all the way over to the right, drop the pinky finger onto the floor, and then reach that left hand even further forwards as you bring your left ear down towards the mat in between your right hand and your left arm. I'll demonstrate it from different angles just in case you can't see. So we're trying to bring that ear down to the floor. In this stretch, imagine that you're trying to walk your left hand over to the right, and at the same time you're pulling your right hip towards it. So you're really lengthening all the way down that left side of the body. I'll just spin around. So what you can do to make this stretch a little bit harder is come onto the fingertips of that right hand, tent the fingers, and then press the hands into the floor a little bit more. Twist your chest up towards the ceiling. That is going to intensify that stretch down the left side of the body. On the side of the back into the lats, maybe you can feel it in the shoulders, maybe you can feel it in that left forearm and left wrist. Imagine that you've got two forces here. Your left arm is trying to reach away from you, but that left hip is also trying to pull backwards as well. So you're really lengthening down that left side of the body. Take one more breath here, just like this. Staying exactly as you are. You can either stay here, or we can bring this into a tricep stretch by bending your left arm and getting that palm of your left hand as close to the top of your back as you can. So you're aiming to bring your fingertips to touch the very top of your spine. If you can't feel this, you can use your right hand to press your left hand into the back a little bit more. You should be able to feel this stretch down the back of that left arm. If it's not working, then what you can do is come onto your knees and just place that left hand behind you. It's a very common stretch, just stretching down that left arm. We'll take another 3 breaths here, so really try and find that deep breath. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling it out through the nose or out through the mouth. And then slowly start to make your way back into a tabletop position, coming onto all fours, taking your time to get there. We've got the same stretch on the other side. So left arm, just moving your left arm out of the way. Reach your right arm out in front, pinky finger faces down to the floor. We're then going to start to reach that right hand all the way over to the left. Right fingertip comes down onto the mat or the floor. Reach your right hand as far forward as you can and bring your right ear onto the floor. So options from here. If your head doesn't meet the floor, you can place it on a brick book blanket cushion. Or if you want to make it harder, come onto the left fingertips, tent that left hand, press the hands into the floor and twist your chest up a little bit more. Don't worry if your head doesn't meet the floor. Here, you'll still get a good stretch down that right side of the body. So to make this even harder still, imagine you're trying to really reach your right hand away from you, and at the same time you're trying to pull that right hip backwards. Just notice where you can feel this stretch. So can you feel it in your lower back? Maybe you can feel it in the lats, which is the very top of the side of the body, if that makes sense. Maybe you can feel it in the shoulders, or maybe you can feel it in the wrists. Taking one more breath, just like this. There is the option to stay here, or bend your right elbow, bringing that right palm to tap, if you can reach the very top of your back. If that is not feeling anything, then what you can do is use that left hand to press your right hand a little bit firmer towards your spine. Another option, if this is not working, is to bend your right elbow, place the palm of that right hand into the top of the spine, and then use that left hand to push your right elbow back a little bit more. We're going to stay here for another 2 breaths. So try not to lose that connection with the breath. Full inhales in, full exhales out. Slowly take your time coming back into all fours, hands underneath the shoulders. We are going to tuck our toes, send our hips up and back into our first downward facing dog. Taking a couple of movements here, just bending one knee, bending the other knee. Maybe even the head, a little nod, a little shake. Any movements that feel good, pedaling out the legs, picking up one heel, picking up the other. When you are ready, start to find some stillness in your downward dog. Spreading your knees to bend here. We're going to walk our hands backwards, coming in between our legs into our ragdoll position. So bring your hands in between your feet. Allow your knees to bend a lot. And then just allow the weight of your head to pull you down towards the floor. There is the option to stay as you are here, or you can take hold of opposite elbow, or you can just keep the hands on the floor, maybe just rocking from one side to the other side, straightening out one leg, straightening out the other. Just finding any movements that feel good. From here, bend your knees a lot. Place the hands flat onto the floor. We will walk out into our high plank position, so take your time. Arriving in your plank, hands underneath the shoulders, feet as wide as your hips. Squeeze your bum, press the weight back through the heels. Option to stay here with the knees lifted, or drop your knees down, keeping your hips square without moving the hips. Can you drop down onto your forearms? So try not to move those hips, using that core strength to come down into a forearm plank. It's up to you whether you keep those knees on or off the mat. We're going to hold it here for about 30 seconds. Keep looking to the front of the mat. Really squeeze your butt, tuck your sit bones under, engage your quads, so squeeze the thighs as much as you can, and keep you here for another 10 seconds. Try not to hold your breath. Try not to let the lower back collapse here. Keep lifting that lower back up for another 5, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down, untuck your toes. Let your hips drop down towards the floor. Take an inhale. Lift up your chest, Sphinx position. So draw the shoulders away from the ears. Enjoy this. We're coming back into a plank position. Tucking your toes under. Squeeze your bum. Lift your thighs off the floor. Use that abdominal core strength to lift up into your plank position. Push back through the heels. Holding it here for 15 seconds this time, so we're not here for as long. But keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Don't let your head collapse. Keep looking forwards. Here for another 10 seconds. Really squeeze your butt. Tuck your sit bones under. Press the forearms into the floor for another 5, 3, 2, 1. Knees drop down, untuck the toes, lower your hips down, take an inhale, lift up the chest, Sphinx position, shoulders away from the ears. Last time, tuck your toes under, squeeze your bum, lift your thighs and your knees off the floor, and then use that abdominal strength to lift back up, plank position, holding it here for 15 seconds. Really press the forearms down, round between the shoulder blades. Squeeze that butt, tuck your sit bones under, and press back through the heels. Keep breathing. We'll be here for another 5, 3, 2, and 1. Or if you're ready, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, coming up into your cobra, or maybe even coming into an upward dog. Just notice how the lower back feels here. As you exhale, lower the chest down towards the floor, tucking the toes under. Press back into your downward dog, either coming through a child's pose, either coming through a tabletop position or coming through your plank, all meeting in our downward facing dog. We're not going to be here for too long. Spread your hands wide, so make sure you're pressing down into the mat with both hands, you're not gripping the floor. Taking the inhale, come up onto your tiptoes as high as you can. That inhale, coming up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, send those heels down to the floor. Inhale, coming up onto the tiptoes, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, heels down. Last one, inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels down to the floor. On your next inhale, we're taking a three-legged dog. Lift up the right leg, keep that right foot flexed, and just make sure that your hips are square here. So try not to open up that right hip. Keep both hips parallel to the floor or to the mat. You might find that leg doesn't go quite as high. We're going to start to wake up that left calf. Take an inhale, come onto the left tiptoes as high as you can on that left leg. Exhale, heel down. Exhale, heel down. Inhale, coming up onto your left tiptoe. Exhale, heel down. Last one, inhale, come onto that left tiptoe. Keep it there. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Sweep your right foot all the way through to replace your right hand at the front of the mat, using that right hand as much as you need. Drop your left knee down. Grab any pillows, blankets that you need underneath that left knee. Take an inhale, bring your hands up overhead. So you can either stay here with the arms in this V position, or bring your palms together and drop your thumbs towards the top of your back. So we're taking this into a tricep stretch. It's completely optional, you do not have to do this. It's just a bit of an accessory, bit of an extra stretch. So bones under. So really try and lift up that pelvis, like you're thrusting your hips forward. Allow your right knee to bend a little bit more so that your knee's stacked over or a little bit in front of your right ankle, but keep that core turned on. We'll take 3 breaths here. If you're in this tricep stretch, really press your palms together. Deepen in those breaths, filling up the lungs. On your next exhale, send your hips all the way up and back, starting to straighten out that right leg. Flex your right foot, bringing your arms behind, finding that hamstring stretch. We're going to work through these 2. So with your inhale, bending that right knee, arms come up overhead, palms together, thumb comes to the top of your spine. Exhale, hips come back, flex the front foot, straightening out that right leg, hamstring stretch. Inhale, bend your right knee, palms together, up overhead, thumb to back. Exhale, lift up, palms together, thumb to your back. Really find your breath as you exhale. Hips move up and back, stretching that right leg. Last round, inhale, hands come all the way up overhead, palms together, thumbs to the back. Exhale, last time, hips move all the way up and back, finding that hamstring stretch on the right leg. Bend your right knee, bring both hands to frame that right foot. You can use books here as well if your hands don't quite meet the floor. And then step your right foot back to meet your left in your plank position. So there is the option to move straight back into your down dog or your child's pose, or if you want to vinyasa, either keeping the knees on or off the mat, hips and chest low down to the floor at the same time. Untucking your toes, inhale, lifting up your chest either in your Sphinx or your upward dog. Exhale, chest comes down towards the floor. Tucking your toes under, lifting the hips up and back through tabletop or through plank into either a downward dog or coming into a child's position. We'll take 5 breaths in whichever variation you have chosen. Before we do that on the other side, so use this time if you need to grab a drink. Start to slow the breath back down again. If you're feeling warm, take a couple of breaths out through the mouth instead. It's a lot different when we're practicing at home and the central heating is on. So really try and slow the breath down. And we'll take another full round of breath here. If you were in your child's position, make your way back into your downward facing dog. Hands as wide as the shoulders, feet as wide as your hips. Taking an inhale, coming up onto the tiptoes, come up as high as you can. As you exhale, heels drive down towards the floor. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, up onto the tiptoes. See if you can come up a little bit higher this time. Exhale, heels down towards the floor. Last one. Inhale, lifting up onto your tiptoes. How high can you get on those toes? Exhale, heels come back down towards the floor. This time as you inhale, 3-legged dog, lift up the left leg. Flex that left foot and keep your hips square. So try not to open up that left hip. Keep both hips pointing down, maybe not having as much height on that left leg. Inhale, coming up onto your right tiptoes, really feel into that calf. As you exhale, right heel comes down. Inhale, lifting up your right heel, come high onto those tiptoes. Exhale, right heel down, really find your breath. We've got 2 more rounds. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, heel comes down. Keep lifting that left leg as well. Last one, inhale, coming onto your right tiptoes. Hold it here. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Get that left foot as close to your left hand as you can. And then if it doesn't quite meet, use your left hand to pull that left foot through. Dropping that right knee down. Grabbing any pillows, blankets you want to pop underneath that right leg. Take an inhale, hands come up overhead, finding your lunge position. Option to stay here with the arms out in this V position, making sure the shoulders are down, or bring the palms together and bring your thumb towards the top of your back. So we get in that tricep stretch here. Really press your hands together as hard as you can if you're in this tricep stretch. We are also going to start to get that right hip flexor stretched here. So really squeeze your butt, squeeze it as hard as you can. Tuck those sit bones under, so thrust your pelvis forward and then start to bend into that left knee a little bit more to get that stretch down the front of that right leg. Breathe here. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. We'll take another 2 breaths exactly like this. Keep that core turned on. Belly button pulls back towards the spine. Shoulders are relaxed. On your next exhale, send your hips backward, bring your arms back behind, straightening out that left leg, flexing those left toes, stretching that left hamstring. Really find your breath as you inhale. Arms come up, bend that left knee, palms together, thumb to your back. Exhale, send those hips back, stretching that left hamstring. Inhale, bend the left knee, arms come up, palms together, thumb to back. Exhale, hips move all the way up and back, stretching that left leg. 1 more round. Inhale, bending the left knee. Arms come up, palms together, thumbs to your spine. Exhale, hips move all the way up and back, finding that last hamstring stretch here. As you inhale, bend your left knee. Place both hands down to the floor to frame that left foot. If you need to, it's quite nice to use books or blocks here. We are going to step our left foot back to meet our right foot in our plank position. Option to move straight back into your down dog or your child's pose, or if you want to vinyasa, hips and chest lower down to the floor. Keep those elbows screwed into the side of the body. Untucking the toes, inhale, lift up your chest. Shoulders are down and back away from the ears. Exhale, chest comes back down towards the floor. Tucking your toes under, lifting up, either through your plank or through a tabletop position, finding a downward dog or finding a child's pose. We will take 5 breaths with whichever variation you are going with. So again, if you need to grab a drink, and breathe here. So deep breaths, really start to slow your breath down. Just start to notice whether your body feels a little bit warmer. Maybe your breath has started to speed up a little bit as we've got the heart rate up. See if you can use these child's poses, these downward dogs, to connect back into that rhythm of breath that you had at the beginning. If you were in your child's position, take your time to come back up into a downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift up your right leg. This time point your toes and allow your hips to open. So you're getting that right leg up as high as you can. Keep the shoulders square, so try not to let that right shoulder twist open. Inhale, lift it a little bit higher. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Squeeze your right knee to your chest and get that right foot as close to your right hand as you can, using the right hand as you need to pull that right foot through. Keep that left knee lifted this time. With an inhale, bring the hands up overhead. As you exhale, drop your left heel down, warrior two position. So your right heel wants to be in line with your left toes, so you might just need to shuffle that right foot across to the left a tiny bit here. Really strengthen those arms. So pretend that I'm going to walk around and press them down. You're not going to let me. Your arms want to be strong. Taking your gaze over that right arm. I've just noticed it's chucking it down. Yay! Relax your shoulders. With an inhale, keeping that right knee bent, take an inhale, reach your right hand forward. As you exhale, right hand comes up overhead, reverse the warrior, keep bending that right leg, left hand meets your left leg anywhere. Inhale, come back to your warrior two. As you exhale, right forearm comes to your right thigh. Inhale, lift your left arm up and overhead. As you exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior, right arm comes up, left hand comes down. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm comes up and over. We've got one more round. Coming all the way back through your warrior two, inhale here. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Last time. Inhale, coming up to your warrior two. Exhale, right forearm, right thigh, left arm comes up and over, and we'll hold it here for about 3 breaths, so we're not here for long. Make sure that left shoulder hasn't come up to that left ear. Keep drawing that left shoulder down and back. Imagine that you're trying to twist your chest up towards the sky, so try not to collapse into that right leg. Take one more full breath. As you exhale, looking down to your right foot, inhale, coming up into your warrior two. Then we're going to straighten out that right leg. You might just need to make your stance a little bit narrower here. Utthita Trikonasana. So make sure that your hips and your pelvis are facing the front. They're not twisting over that right leg. Take an inhale, reach your right arm forwards, dropping from that right hip. Right arm is going to come onto either your right thigh or your right shin and lift that left arm up. So finding our triangle stretch. Ears. We are squeezing the quads, so really activate those legs. You can keep a micro bend in that right knee if there's any pain in that right leg. Exhale, down to your right foot. Inhale, coming up through your straight leg warrior two. We will reverse our triangle. Left hand comes to left thigh. Right arm comes all the way up and overhead, getting that stretch, that counter stretch that we've just done. Inhale, coming straight back into your straight leg warrior two. Place both hands onto your hips. Pivot around so that your right foot is in front and your left foot is behind at a 45-degree angle. So you want to make sure that you've got your hips. Or you can place the back of the hands into the base of the lower spine. Or you can take hold of opposite elbow. Or you can interlace the hands and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So we've got our right leg in front. Take an inhale, lift up your chest. As you exhale, start to fold forwards over that right leg, bringing your arms up and overhead if you've got that interlace, finding that hamstring stretch on the right leg. We're going to hold it here for about 5 breaths, so really start to slow the breath down here, using those exhales to find a little bit more depth in this stretch if you can. Making sure that your quads are turned on, so those thighs are rock hard. There's no falling asleep in those thighs. Pull your right hip back a little bit here to make sure that those hips are square, and make sure that you've got a nice straight spine here as well. Wherever you are, take an inhale, come up halfway so that your chest is parallel-ish with the floor. We're going to bend into our right knee, bending quite a lot. Start to lift off into your warrior three. Your right leg's not going to want to do this, but we're going to do it anyway. Flex your left foot. Both legs are active. Try and keep the bind with the hands if you've got that too, so try and keep the hands exactly as they are. We're not going to be here for too long. Try and find your balance. Finding your drishti, something still that isn't moving. Really activate that core. You can still activate your core even though we're on one leg. And you can still breathe as well. So deep breath, strong core, strong legs. We're here for another 3. 2, don't worry if you've fallen, get back up again, and 1, without putting your left leg down, micro bend your right knee, keep that left leg as straight as you can. We're going to sweep that left leg all the way through, bending your left knee, picking that left knee up as high as you can. We're not here for that long, we're here for another 5, finding your balance. 4, can you get that left leg higher? 3, squeeze your belly. 2, and 1, drop both feet down, give the legs a little bit of a shake. You can release the hands. With an inhale, bring your arms up all the way overhead. As you exhale, forward fold, bring the fingertips down towards the floor. Keeping the knees bent if you need to, just to straighten out that spine. Inhale, halfway lift, either on the fingertips, shins or thighs. Really lengthen that back. Exhale, both hands come down towards down dog, straight back into a child's pose. Or if you want to vinyasa, hips and chest lower down. Untucking your toes. Inhaling for a back bend of your choice, Sphinx or upward dog. Exhale, chest comes down towards the floor, tuck those toes under. Sending your hips up and back, either through your plank or through your tabletop position, finding your downward dog or finding your child's position. We'll take 5 breaths with whichever variation you have gone with. So again, if you need to grab a drink, use this time to get that drink. Use this time to slow your breath down, to reset a little bit before we do that on the other side. It's the last little bit of hard bit, I think. So really slowing those breaths down. Full inhales, full exhales. If you're feeling warm, exhale it out through the mouth. If you were in your child's pose, making your way back up into your downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift up your left leg, 3-legged dog. This time, allow your hips to open. So you're getting that left leg as high as you can, but at the same time, keep the shoulders square. So try not to let your left shoulder rise up. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your quads. Point that left toe. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Squeeze the left knee up to the chest, get it as close towards your chest, your nose, your armpit as you can, and then sweep that left foot through to replace that left hand. Use your hand to pull it through as and when you need. Keeping that right knee lifted this time, take an inhale, really press into that left foot, using your core, using your abs to bring you all the way up into your high lunge, dropping your right heel down, opening up warrior 2 position with that left knee bent. So make any adjustments with the feet here to make sure that left heel is in a line with the right back toes. Hips and chest are facing forwards. Find those strong arms. So shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then roll them all the way down and back, making sure that there's strength in the arms. So if I was to walk through and press them down, they wouldn't move. Gaze is over that left hand. With an inhale, reach your left hand forward. And as you exhale, reverse the warrior. Left arm comes up and over. Right hand comes down that right leg. Inhale, coming through your warrior 2 position. As you exhale, left forearm, left thigh. Right arm comes all the way up and over. Inhale, coming into your warrior 2. Exhale, reverse the warrior, right hand down, left hand up and over. Inhale, warrior 2, keep that left knee bent. Exhale, left forearm, left thigh, right arm comes up and over, twisting your chest up to the sky. Inhale, warrior 2. Last round, exhale, reverse the warrior. Really find your breath in these movements. Inhale, warrior 2. This time as you exhale, left forearm comes to left thigh, right arm comes up and over, and we'll hold it here in our Parsvakonasana. So making sure that that right shoulder is down away from the right ear. Turn your palm in as well. So you want to make that palm turn in towards your face. It's going to rotate the shoulder in the socket. Keep bending into that left knee. Make sure that you're not sinking into that left leg. Twist your chest up towards the sky. So you've got this space in between the left arm and the left side of the body. On your next exhale, look down to your left foot. Inhale, coming up into your warrior 2. Straighten out that left leg and just make your stance a little bit narrower here if you need to. So make sure hips, chest facing forwards, Left foot is pointing straight to the left. Arms come out to a T with an inhale. We drop from that left hip, reach our left hand forward. As you exhale, left hand comes to either your left thigh or your left shin, and reach that right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Keeping that right shoulder relaxed, left shoulder relaxed. If it hurts your neck, just look down towards that left foot. And if you're hyperextending or if that left knee is painful, keep that left knee in a soft bend. Making sure that you haven't started to collapse into that left side of the body. Imagine you're trying to twist your chest up towards the sky. The neck is soft here. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, look down to your left leg. Inhale, coming up through your straight leg warrior two. Reverse the triangle, right hand to right thigh, left arm comes all the way up and overhead, getting that stretch down the left side of the body. Coming back into your straight leg warrior two, placing your hands onto your hips. Just pivot around so the left leg is in front, right leg is behind. And you've got about a stride's gap between both feet. You also want to make sure that both feet are in a track that's about as wide as your hips. Options with the hands, you can keep the hands on the hips, or you can cross the hands behind your back so that the back of the hands are in the very base of the lower spine. You can catch hold of the opposite elbow. Make sure on this side that you go for the way that feels weird, so the other direction. Or you can interlace the fingers, again the opposite way to what you would usually do. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and try and lift those arms up away from your spine. I've forgotten which leg was in front, so I'm just going to pretend I remembered. Inhale, lift up your chest. As you exhale, folding forwards over that front leg, lifting your arms up and overhead. Sure, the hips are square here, so try not to let one hip track back, try not to let one hip pull backwards. You want to have both hips as square as they can be. Really finding the breath here, full inhales, full exhales, using those exhales to find a little bit more depth, a little bit more of a stretch in that left leg, making sure that your spine is nice and straight. Keep breathing, we'll take another 2 breaths here. I think we're on the left leg, so I'm going to describe left. If you're on the right, stick with the right. Bend your left knee, bring all of your weight into that left leg and lift up your back leg, finding your warrior 3. So find that balance. Try and keep the hands exactly as they are. We are not here for that long. Really activate those legs. Any tension in that left knee, keep a soft bend in that left leg. Try not to arch the lower back here. Try and keep that core active as you pull your belly button back towards the spine, taking the banana back, so taking the arch out of the lower spine, keeping this really strong and stable. Breathe, squeeze your legs, activate those quads. We'll be here for another 3. Falling is good. 2. And 1. Without putting that right leg down, micro bend your left leg, sweep the right knee all the way up to your chest. How high can you get that right leg without using your hands? So you're using the strength of that right hip flexor here. Lift it up a little bit higher. We'll be here for 3. Find your drishti, find something still for your balance. 2 and 1. Drop that leg down, give the legs a little bit of a shake. With an inhale, we will bring our hands up overhead, keep the shoulders down. As you exhale, forward fold, bring the fingertips down towards the floor. Find your breath, inhale, lengthen the chest, lengthen the spine, chest up. Exhale, both hands come down to the floor. Step or jump back into your plank position. Option to move straight into a down dog, straight into a child's pose, or if you want to vinyasa, hips and chest lower down at the same time. Untuck in the toes. Inhale to lift up the chest. Shoulders are down and back. Exhaling to bring your chest down towards the floor. Ducking your toes under, sending your hips up and back, either through plank or through a tabletop position. Finding your last downward dog or child's pose. Taking 5 breaths wherever you are. So that is the hard bit done. Again, use this time, grab a drink if you need to, start to slow that breath back down. We are slowing it down now. So if you're feeling warm, exhale it out through the mouth. Wherever you are, make your way into a tabletop position. We're just going to finish with one sneaky little shoulder strengthening exercise. It might feel quite hard because we've already done quite a lot of work. They might already feel quite fatigued. But we've got a couple of options. So option one, from your tabletop position, drop down onto your forearms and then interlace the fingers and make sure that the forearms are flat down onto the mat. So this is option one. What we're going to do from here, it's interesting, is drive your chest forward, bring all of the weight into the arms and try and tap your chin or your nose or anything that you can reach to the mat and then press it back into your tabletop position. So you're bringing the weight forwards, tapping your nose or chin down and bringing it back into your tabletop. I'll show you option two and then we'll do it together. So option two is a lot harder. We do it from our downward facing dog, but it's the same thing. We inhale, shuffle the weight as far forwards as you can. Maybe your chin or your nose taps the floor and then send it back, downward dog. So we come through, bring our weight forwards, tap something, anything onto the floor and then send it back into our downward dog. We'll do 5 together. If you want to start with your downward dog and then drop down onto your knees, that's also good. Get ready, find your position. Wherever you are, take an inhale, back, inhale, coming forwards, bring the weight into the arms, chin, nose taps, exhale, send it back. 3 more, inhale, bringing the weight forwards as far to the floor as you can, exhale, send it back. Last 2, stay with me, inhale, bringing your weight forwards, exhale, send it back. Last 1, inhale, coming all the way through, tapping something down, exhale, send it back, drop your knees down, taking a child's pose. So for our child's pose, you can either stick with what we usually do with the arms out long, or take a traditional child's pose, rounding the shoulders, bringing your arms back behind you, just allowing those arms, those shoulders to roll forwards. And that's all the hard bit done, I promise this time. So we are truly slowing it down now. So really deepen those breaths, using this time to settle back down. Just noticing how your body feels now. Is there anywhere that feels a little bit more fatigued, a little bit warmer, a little bit more stretched, a little bit more flexible? Is there any space anywhere that there wasn't before? Maybe you feel a bit warmer, a bit more sweaty. Just noticing any difference in the breath here. Does it feel deeper? Does it feel faster? We are all going to make our way onto our backs. So take your time to get there. Getting down onto your back any way you want. And then making yourself into a little ball. Just starting to rock gently from side to side, just massaging the spine into the floor. We are going to take a couple of supine twists before we finish. So drop both knees either to the left side or the right side. It doesn't matter which way you go. Option to cross one leg on top of the other to make it a little bit harder. Bringing the arms either out to a T or into a cactus shape, or taking the arms up overhead. Allowing both shoulders to soften, to feel heavy. Allowing the hips to feel heavy. Maybe closing the eyes, softening the gaze. And just taking the head over in the direction of that right arm if your knees were over to the left. So the head is moving. Just starting to let go of any gripping, of any tensing. The head is completely heavy. Our breath is slowing down. Take your time to come back into the center, uncrossing the legs if you had the eagle wrap. Taking both knees to the opposite direction if you want to cross one leg on top of the other, the top leg on top of the bottom leg, you can do. Take those knees down to the side. Arms can either come out to a T, to a cactus, up overhead, anywhere that feels good for this stretch, for this last little twist. It's completely passive here, so just allow the body to be heavy. Check in that you're not gripping, you're not tensing, you're not holding on anywhere. The gaze, the head can just fall into the, keeping those shoulders heavy. Allowing the breath to slow down here. For once, we don't have to engage our core and squeeze our thighs, so enjoy it. Taking your time to come back onto your spines, coming onto your backs, hug your knees in one last time. It's completely up to you if you'd like to take a happy baby before we come into our Shavasana. If you are coming straight into Shavasana, grab any extra layers, any blankets, any cushions you want to use. We will be here for about 3 minutes, so if you do want to take a longer Shavasana, you are more than welcome to pause the video. If you have got time, then please do. If you come into your Shavasana, you can either have your legs out long, any tension in the lower back, bend your knees, and place the soles of the feet flat to the floor, so you just relax in that lower back. If you'd rather, another option for your Shavasana, if it feels weird laying on the floor, is to go to bed. That's an option. Or you can come and sit with your legs crossed in this seated meditation posture. Wherever you are, start to close the eyes and soften the gaze if you haven't done already. We will all take a full inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh out. One more full inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. And just allow the body to relax. Do that as many times as you want. Letting the shoulders be heavy. Letting the face become heavy. Soften the forehead, soften the jaw. Using this time to find complete stillness. Just allowing the body to completely melt, to completely drop into the mat, into the floor. In your own time, just start to bring your attention back to your body. Start to make micro movements, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Deepen the breath, taking a couple of inhales and exhales. Making yourself into a long pencil stretch. If you would like to, taking the legs out long, bringing the hands up overhead, making yourself as long as you can. draw your knees into your chest, make yourself into a little ball, and then take your time to rock either to the left side or the right side, coming through your fetal position, making your way up to a comfortable seat, either sat cross legs or sitting on your knees. When you have found a comfortable seat, bringing your hands together at the heart center, bow your chin down to your chest. Thanking yourself for taking an hour out of your Wednesday evening to show up on your mat, to come and practice virtually this evening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of Wednesday. Fabulous week ahead. Thank you for joining. Namaste. Thank you guys. As always, let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you so much for joining me live. It's always nice to see you. Hope you have a nice evening.